where our police know who their suspects are, but very little is ever resolved. And there are no changes to the justice system, so another family would not have to suffer the same fate. In fact, it's gotten worse. There are more innocent families represented here today. I believe that if we're going to come up with positive solutions, we need to clearly define the problems first. And we need to have like a family chat where we talk about the issues, we talk about our own issues. This public safety crisis in our streets, because of this gang war, is in my view a direct result of the maladministration of the justice system here in BC. This maladministration of the justice system represents a failure of our provincial government to fulfill its constitutional duties to maintain law and order.
Hear, hear.
They need to dispense justice to these criminals. And it's not happening. So I believe we're also currently experiencing somewhat of a constitutional crisis here. Because of what happened to Ed Schellenberg and the other innocent people, British Columbia is now a have-not province in our confederation with respect to justice. Every day we see examples in our courts, their sad inability to deal with this lawlessness. There is a glimmer of hope for us. Our federal government in Ottawa knows exactly what is happening here, and they are very concerned with what's going on. We must not equate their relative silence for inactivity on their part. Anyone locally who tries to maintain a position that the status quo in the justice system is not in touch with reality. There needs to be change. Ed Schellenberg and his family, the other innocent families, they are not going to be the only people who pay for this. In a democracy, it is supposed to be the citizens who are supreme, and the government is there to serve the interests of the people. Our provincial government must serve the interests of ordinary, law-abiding citizens when it comes to law and order and justice. Sadly, I believe we are experiencing a void in the leadership around these fundamental rights of our democracy. My conclusion, and I see no other choice, is that all of us, you and I, the general public, we must stand up now and confront these two giants before us in British Columbia. The first is injustice, and the second is lawlessness. The judiciary in our province have been serving the interests of these career criminals for too long, and it must stop. They do not take high crimes like drug trafficking, like illegal handguns, like gang activity, even murder with any kind of seriousness. They are refusing to enforce our existing laws in Canada. For example, in Friday's Province newspaper, there was a story of about a young man convicted of 2 counts of drug trafficking. He received a conditional sentence. Sometime later, the police arrested him and charged him for having a loaded illegal handgun in his car. Now, do you think that maybe, just maybe, possessing an illegal handgun might be one of the conditions of that previous sentence? Do you think that maybe automatically and immediately you would go to jail? Not in BC. Not by our we know better judiciary. Not on your life. It'll never happen. And all our provincial Crown Council asked for was a paltry 1-year jail term just for the gun conviction. And the judge reserved his judgment on the sentence for almost a month later down the road. Now, think of that. You got to think about it for a month. This is what we're up against. To paraphrase the words of retired Supreme Court of Canada Justice Bud Esty, he said, Haven't we had enough of these gutless judges who will not treat these criminals?
Yeah.